Wilder continues to blast Dominic Brazil and other people that may stand in his way. With his latest interview, he stated that Dominic Brazil is an embarrassment to American boxers abroad because he went to England, talked all that shit, and got beat the fuck up. He got beat up by a better fighter, and he'll be beat up today. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I feel at this point, there's no secret that Deontay Wilder very much dislikes Dominic Brazil. He offers to pay for funeral arrangements or hospital bills for such a task that he is attempting to do today. Now, as far as Dominic Brazil losing to Joshua, he did lose to Joshua. Joshua was the better man. He just got outclassed. Did he talk a lot of shit? In Dominic Brazil's own standards, I would say yes, because he talked more shit in the Anthony Joshua fight than he ever did in this fight, in this buildup, right? He engaged Anthony Joshua versus this particular fight buildup. He didn't do such a thing. He reacted. You could tell he was heated, but he didn't come with that same savvy, that the smirks, the smiles, the nonchalant intimidation, you know, the slick capping that he did with Anthony Joshua, which Anthony Joshua was really actually quite different than he was in other fights and other confrontations. He must have discerned or sensed that this guy's low-key trying to talk shit to me, but trying to be a nice guy, kind of like a smart-ass at the same time. You know, and that's why Anthony Joshua gave him that speech. Like, hey, yeah, you're not going to do nothing to me. Don't come up here and bulking up and standing in front of me like you're going to do something to me. You know, and the funny thing he said about Breazelle, he said, yeah, don't be like all the other Americans and talk and don't back it up. You know, you're not going to do anything to me. And it's funny. It was almost like that pissed off Anthony Joshua, in a sense. And he was a little, maybe his confidence came off as arrogance to Anthony Joshua. That's why Anthony Joshua reacted the way he did. But nonetheless, he did get beat, right? Stopped in 7 rounds. Now Deontay Wilder is reflecting that loss upon his opponent, saying you're an embarrassment to American boxing. Okay? You know, the mind games start and they will continue. I don't think he needs them, but he has made a statement. You know, it's bad to put someone on America's reputation. You know, you're an embarrassment to America. That's like some Charlie Chaplin shit. You know what I mean? He's pretty much saying like, hey, you embarrassed America, get the fuck out of here. You know, but if he's that much of an embarrassment, you shouldn't be fighting him. Shouldn't be fighting him at all. Real talk. I mean, mandatory means what to the WBC? Honestly. You know what I mean? Anyhow, it was a diss. It was a low blow. Yes. Dominic Brazil has a loss. His only loss was to the unified champion of the world. To me, counterpunching that doesn't make him a terrible fighter. It just made him a person that lost. But is what he learned from that loss, did he gain anything from losing to Anthony Joshua? Will this be just another loss to him? This all remains to be seen. But one thing apparent is Dominic Brazil has his second time of redemption. And let's see how he can take advantage of the night. You know, I mean, this guy is a warhorse. He's beat 2 or 3 undefeated fighters since then. You know, you can argue that, hey, he has just as good as resume as Dillian White at this point, right? And he's fighting Deontay Wilder, so he's on the record, win, lose, or draw, right? You know, I mean, he's done what he's done in the sport. And in other words, he didn't have any soft touches, and he still only has 1 loss, and that's to the unified champion of the world. Someone that Deontay Wilder hasn't got in there with. So that's something that he can bounce back with. But it is savage that Deontay Wilder did say that about Dominic Brazil. You know, you're an embarrassment. I can't stand how you just went your ass over there and talked all that shit and got your ass whooped. It was hilarious. It was classic. It was humorous. But then again, it was absolutely true. I don't think, and I don't see Dominic Brazil rebuttaling or counterpunching this, because I mean, there's really nothing else he had to say or has to say about that. Yeah, that happened. He went over there, he did talk some shit, and he got his ass whooped. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Deontay Wilder's last comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.